It's 5 minutes with me.
Hello, friends. Marko. Welcome to 5 Minutes with Marko. It's a glorious winter, sunny day here in San Diego. 70 and sunny. How is it where you are? Okay, today we're going to talk about fueling creativity in ministry. And I want to spend a few minutes thinking about some creativity ingredients, or more accurately, I'd like to suggest a small selection of passageways that will potentially lead you to creativity in your thinking and ministry practice. At least these are 6 of the passageways that regularly help me move into a more creative space. 1, read widely. Reading widely leads to creativity. Reading fiction presents me with characters solving problems in ways that I wouldn't think of. Graphic novels engage my creative right brain. Nonfiction sparks parallel thinking for seemingly unrelated issues in my life. Biographies offer glimpses into how others creatively address challenges and create new realities. And maybe most importantly, reading books I expect to disagree with both helps me refine my own thoughts and pushes me to consider with compassion and curiosity other viewpoints. 2, remix rather than ex nihilo. Recently, I was about to heat up some pre-made country potatoes and green beans from Trader Joe's, but it seemed so boring, so I remixed it. I added a collection of additional items: sauteed onions and garlic, lemon juice, cashews and slivered almonds, spicy honey, and maybe the weirdest addition, fig butter. I regularly encounter youth workers who don't think that they're creative. Almost always, they have the wrong perspective about the essence of creativity. You and I are not God, duh, and therefore we do not create ex nihilo, something out of nothing. I didn't invent figs, I remixed them. Reimagine your creativity as the art of remixing, bringing together potentially disparate things. Number 3, retreat alone. I remember being on a silent solo retreat in the desert when the idea of an event only for middle school youth workers came to me, and grabbing my laptop, I started typing out the idea as fast as my fingers could keep up with my thoughts. And that has happened to me over and over and over again when I give myself over to silence and solitude for 24 or more hours. I found, at least for me, there's something of a formula for the best creative space: focus plus space over time. Sometimes creativity strikes in a blink, but I usually need focus to develop a creative idea. And my best creativity is always worked out in creative spaces multiplied by time. All of this adds up to one best practice: personal retreats. When I schedule time alone in a place that breeds creative thinking, my best stuff is birthed. 4, retreat with your team. The youth ministry volunteer at my team at my church recently retreated for 24 hours at a mountain lodge we found online. There was strong resistance to the idea from several fronts, since retreats like this require cost, time, and attention. We might have come up with some good ideas if we'd met at church or in someone's home, but being away together for those 24 hours birthed a creative plan that will impact our ministry for years to come. The best creativity comes from teams, and teams are at their most creative when they get away together for prayer, dreaming, play, and imagining all things new. 5, get creative young people involved in think tanking. The most consistently creative input I received from a teenager came from a young teen girl most would not have noticed. Kristen was a bookworm and extremely shy. She spent all of her free time reading or writing. But either due to a momentary insight or dumb luck on my part, I pursued Kristen to be part of our student leadership team. And she taught me something very important about creativity. Creative people of any age tend to be divergent thinkers who see things differently than the majority. My experience with Kristen led me to an experiment in creative input. I semi-regularly gathered up a group of artistic and creative teenagers to function as an unofficial think tank for our ministry. None of these teens were obvious leaders or upfront types. Most of them were misfits in one way or another. They were naturally oppositional, but were cross-current thinkers with ideas and insights I would never have come up with on my own. In order to provide this cornucopia of ideation, they simply needed 3 things from me: permission, space, and encouragement. We certainly didn't activate all of their ideas, but 1 out of 10 ideas was pure gold. 6, finally, everyone teaches. One more random creative idea, and this one's pretty practical. You can use it this week if you choose. It's a wildly creative teaching idea that you can only use once in a while, but you'll find it might be the easiest and best teaching time you have all year. Plus, as a bonus, it's a wonderful way to stir your own creativity as you watch the creativity of teenagers. There's an old curriculum framing from the 70s that you've probably heard of, created by Christian education guru Larry Richards. Maybe you've heard of Hook, Book, Look, Took. Simply put, Hook introduces the topic. Book is what the Bible says about it. Look is what does the Bible mean, and took is the application. Most youth ministry curriculum roughly follows this outline whether it intends to or not. Here's the teaching plan. Pick a topic and a related Bible passage. I find it works best with a Bible story. Explain the basics of Hook, Book, Look, Took to your group, then divide them into 4 groups. Large or small doesn't matter. I've done this where each of the 4 groups had 3 people, and I've done it where each of the 4 groups had 50 people. Assign each group one section of the teaching flow. Hook, Book, Look, and Took. Have the topic and the Bible passage visible for reference. Give groups about 15 minutes to work out how they'll teach that section of the lesson. Then have the groups teach each other in succession. Even if students only pay attention to their own contribution, they'll likely learn more from this engagement than from your best talk ever. Hey, I want to remind you, you are creative because you're made in the image of the Creator.
The Youth Cartel Podcast Network.